More tributes now to Chuck Berry, who has died at the age of 90. Let's talk to Neil Strauss, who's a best-selling author and contributing editor to the Rolling Stone magazine. He was lucky enough to interview Chuck Berry back in 2010. Thank you for joining us, sir. Chuck Berry was known as quite a difficult interviewee, but you managed to really get him on side. Tell us about that.
It's true. He was really widely misunderstood. And really, I was supposed to do an interview with him, and they said, he's going to talk to you. He might leave after 3 seconds. And I just started enjoying him, laughing at his jokes, treating him as a regular sort of person. And we talked for hours and hours, probably the longest interview he's done in like 3-4 decades.
I mean, you even got to speak to his daughter on the phone. You were talking for hours. What was he like, and what kind of insight did you get about him?
It's so great to get the information firsthand. And first of all, obviously, Chuck Berry is such a legend, and I've interviewed all the people credited with inventing rock and roll. So Little Richard, Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry. Chuck is the only one who didn't want the credit for inventing rock and roll. He said, was just imitating what came before me. Mm-hmm. And literally, he's the one who most deserves it. So it was amazing to see how humble he was, how talented, and his only goal, here's what was interesting. Here's how, in his mind, rock and roll was kind of invented, which I had never heard before, which is he said he'd play these segregated venues in the States. Mm-hmm. And on one side, there'd be a black audience that wanted to hear country. And then the other side was a white audience that wanted to hear R&B. And he wanted to please them both and kind of made this fusion that was R&B and country together that became rock and roll.
And he had this incredible showmanship as well, and just way of connecting with the audience and really singing about things that his audience could connect to as well, didn't he?
He really, and that was exactly it. A lot of great artists, and especially Chuck Berry, have the antenna up, and they connect with the energy of the time. And what's fascinating is when I spoke to him, he said, I really just always wanted to be a comedian. That's my goal in life, and I failed at that. But he wanted to just please people and entertain them.
He certainly did entertain them, and he certainly pleased them with the music. The number of tributes that have been pouring in, it's been incredible. A lot of people attribute their success to him and his influence. He got the accolades, but did he make the same money as people like the Rolling Stones, people that he influenced?
I mean, absolutely not. He was sitting there languishing in jail while, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Beach Boys and all the artists he influenced were taking his music, his riffs, his poetry and songwriting, because he really was a rare artist who first kind of added poetry and songwriting at that level to that kind of music. And no, he sat there in jail while it happened, but what was interesting is he's the only one I met of those guys who wasn't bitter about it either.
Neil Strauss, we're going to have to leave it there. It's been really great to have your insights and memories of the time that you met and interviewed Chuck Berry. Thank you so much.